This one, so these are different genus. So there's no Monstera amydrium medium because there's no such thing. Please. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Peter Planter, and for today's video, I'm going to Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Peter Planter, and for today's video, I'm going to be talking about these three plants that are commonly confused from one another, or like, let's say, you know what I mean. So first of all, I want to point out that this one is a video that I have been thinking about for a long time already. I was waiting for this one to have the fenestrations, and this is the only time I had a cutting from this one, and this is the only time I had fenestrations on this one. So I'm not gonna say anything yet about the plants because I want you guys to, be aware of what the differences are from these three plants. If you're a grower or if you're a plant parent for a long time, you would know the difference of these three plants that I would mention. But if you're fairly new to this community, then you would be confused a little bit, just like my mom and my sister. So actually, I've been seeing a lot of posts from Facebook where these three plants are commonly confused from one another. Like, for example, if you know what this is, this one is a Monstera borsigiana. This one is another type of Monstera from the Monstera deliciosa, which I cannot show right now because my Monstera deliciosa is currently rooting because it had a tragedy. So yes, I couldn't show it, but I'm gonna show it if I have a clip. So my Monstera deliciosa is a bigger version of the borsigiana, and the borsigiana tends to grow vinier than the Monstera deliciosa. Now, if you can see this, let's go with this one. This one is also a cutting. So if you can see, this one is an Epipremnum pinnatum, or commonly known as tibatib here in the Philippines, or dragon tail. Well, I have seen a lot of posts in Facebook, or let's say in other groups, where pinnatum is confused with monstera. Well, I understand if you're fairly new to this plant community, then you would confuse this plants because both of them all of them has fenestrations, has holes, or whatnot, right? So yes, I've seen a lot of mistakes, and I want to correct that, and I want to explain what's the difference between the three. So moving on, before I state about the differences about this three, I wanna explain what this plant is. So this one's also a cutting. So this one right here is an Amydrium medium. This one is another type of plant. So these three are all different. This one's a Monstera, this one's an Epipremnum, and this one's an Amydrium. Now this one is a false Monstera, if they would say, the spider Monstera. I would explain later why is it called a spider Monstera, but that's the reason why it is very confusing to the newer members of the community, because in Pinterest, I've seen a lot of posts where it's called the spider Monstera, but actually it's the Amydrium medium. I have the Amydrium medium blue, but in this case, I'm gonna show you my Amydrium medium green form, because this is the only cutting that my dog knocked out a few weeks ago. So let's talk about the difference between the three plants. First of all, let's talk about the plant ID. This one is a Monstera. That's what I've said. Monstera deliciosa. Monstera borsigiana. This one is an Epipremnum pinnatum, or commonly known as tibatib or dragon's tail. And this one is an Amydrium medium. Now, I've seen a lot. I've seen posts where new members in the community would ask the ID, especially in this one because they would be thinking it's Monstera. And in the comment section, I would literally see a lot of people commenting that this Epipremnum pinnatum is Monstera. And truth be told, okay, no offense, some when you like, I tried correcting someone that this one isn't a Monstera, but I received like an argument where it was a Monstera. Like the person um the person really told me that it is a Monstera, and well, I had to put a picture where the difference between a Monstera and a Epipremnum pinnatum beside each other. The argument was closed. Anyways, the difference from a Monstera, so if you can see, the Monstera has a heart-shaped leaf with fenestrations at the side or splits. Okay, so is this one, but shape-wise, if you would look at it, that's fairly different. This Monstera borsigiana is a heart-shaped leaf. This one is elongated. And if you have a Epipremnum pinnatum that is fairly large, you would see holes in the middle. Tiny holes compared to a Monstera deliciosa or Monstera borsigiana, where the holes here are fairly larger than the pinnatum right here. And if you can see, it looks like someone just poked it with a stick, right? So if you put this ones beside each other, it looks the same. If you aren't a trained eye, or if you aren't in the plant community for a bit some time now, and if like the more you look at it, Monstera borsigiana or Monstera deliciosa borsigiana has a heart-shaped leaf. That's why it's called a heart leaf philodendron. In some places like Walmart, what else? Those big boxes store in the U.S. It's also called a heart leaf philodendron, but the proper ID is Monstera borsigiana, or let's say Monstera deliciosa. And this one is an Epipremnum pinnatum where the leaves are elongated, plus the holes in the middle are fairly smaller. Now, I have a clip of my Monstera borsigiana with holes. It's quite large, and also my Monstera deliciosa, which has holes. Now let's move on to this one. Now, for me, it is really quite different than a Monstera because Monstera has a fairly lime green leaf when it comes out like new, but this one it comes out light green, but the veining is very pronounced. That's why it's called a spider Monstera, aka known as spider plant Monstera, spider whatever spider, because of the veining. And I would tell you though, the juvenile form of the Amydrium medium is quite different. It looks like an Epipremnum pinnatum in the juvenile stage because it doesn't have these splits, it doesn't have the holes, it doesn't have anything that would tell you that it is an Amydrium medium. But if you are taking care of Amydriums for a long time, you would know the difference just by looking at the veins, the veining patterns of the Amydrium medium, because it is very pronounced and it really looks chlorotic, if you would know it, a chlorotic plant. So that's the difference of the three. Now this one's a heart-shaped leaf. This two looks fairly quite the same, but this one's a heart-shaped leaf. This one is an elongated leaf. And the mature version of the Epipremnum pinnatum, it's quite different. I'm gonna show you a clip where it's climbing on my avocado tree, and the mature version looks very, very, very split. So yes, it has a lot of splits compared to the Monstera deliciosa or Borsigiana, where it you know, retains its heart-shaped leaf with fenestrations and holes in it. So that's really the difference between the pinnatum and the Monstera borsigiana. The only thing that makes this one look like a Monstera because of the holes. Okay, this is one point that I'm gonna point out. Just because it doesn't mean a plant has holes in the center or has splits, it is a Monstera. No, it doesn't mean like that. Because just like this one, Amydrium is, you know, Amydrium has splits and has holes in the center, but it isn't a Monstera. Epipremnum pinnatum has splits, but it isn't a Monstera. So I want you guys to take note that not every plant that has holes is already a Monstera, and you like some people are selling it. Some people are selling it as Monstera just to, you know, get some money. That's just, to be honest, I've seen a lot of sellers by the road where they labeled Amydrium medium as a Monstera Adansonii, but it isn't. And Monstera Adansonii is fairly different than Monstera deliciosa, where that's why I didn't include this one, Monstera Adansonii, because it's very different. I just want to point out this three, and I just want to share this one because I don't want people to get confused more about this one, especially to the newer members of the plant community, because I've been there a few years ago and it is quite confusing though when you see like this one plus this one, you know. So really guys, I really hope that you guys are quite responsible enough to name a plant, especially to the newer members. If you're not sure of the plant ID, then be sure to ask a expert who has been in the plant community for so long. Before this video ends, I would like to point out that Amydrium medium is not a Monstera. There's no Monstera Amydrium medium, or there's no Amydrium medium Monstera. There's nothing like that, because I have encountered a lot of like that. Okay, there's nothing Monstera Amydrium, because Monstera is a genus, Amydrium is a genus, and you can't have two genus together because this was a different genus, this was also a different genus. Am I wrong? Am I right? Genus. Right. Okay, I'm correct. So this one, so these are different genus. So there's no Monstera Amydrium medium because there's no such thing. Please, I hope that you guys would know better. Just to avoid confusion though. I'm not like bashing anyone. I just wanted to share this one because I want like to avoid confusion. And there's no Monstera pibatib. There's nothing like that. It's an Epipremnum pinnatum. There's no Monstera pinnatum. Okay, there's nothing like that. The last thing I would want to say is that I think researching more about your plants would be a great help for you if you're quite confused. If you don't know the ID of the plant, you can use Google Lens, because Google Lens is quite a good, you know, a good platform to check your plant's ID. Yes, so Google Lens would also help a lot in terms of plant ID. And yes, I would suggest you to do more research about your plants, and if you're not sure about the ID, ask an expert, or probably ask someone that you know who has been in the plant community for so long, because it's quite confusing, plants. Anyways, I really hope that this video would help not a few but many of you guys who are still confused between Monsteras, Amydriums, and Epipremnum. And I hope that you would share this video to avoid confusion between the three of these plants, so that the sellers, let's say the sellers who are not yet informed as well, would be informed and will not mislabel the plants, so that people won't sell these plants in a corny amount of price just because it's Monstera. Alright, so yes, I just want this one to be an educational video. I really hope that you learned something, and if you did, a great a thumbs up would be great. It would help me a lot. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's just down there. Click the button down below, and if you want to get notified whenever I post some videos, just click the notification bell down there or down there, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.